Wow, you can tell it's humid just by the camera, and that is not good. Let's go this way. Okay. Gonna go over some more tools. Welcome. Hey, welcome to the office. Welcome to the show. And it's definitely it's always a show. Back here at the hacienda, and it's not my hacienda, but I'm would have been on a long time ago. Got a little doggy here that I'm babysitting, and you'll probably get to meet this little critter, and her name's Lulu. So Lulu's hanging around. She's a nice dog. I'm just having a little coffee, as you know. There's some there's all sorts of landscaping tools going on, and you know, if you know me, I lived in Alaska for a long time, so we never really had any leaf blowers going or anything, lawn mowers. Maybe some lawnmowers. We have grass. You know, people like in the summertime like to have some. People like to have grass in the summer. Everybody likes a little grass in the summertime. We won't sing here anyway. So I was packing, and last night unpacking, drying things out from the Northwest, and I had a couple people on here. It was kind of busy last night on here. I had a few people, and it was getting dark, and then we had some thunderstorms, and we might get that again today. If you check it out, you can kind of see out here. It's we've got some clouds rolling by. Other than that, we're just hanging out at Uncle D's homestead, base camp, or whatever the heck you want to call it. And it's funny, the camera, when you do these lives, it's really, sorry about my shorts there. They're really interesting. They don't give you really any perspective of what's going on. I want to be center, but I want people to see my beautiful partner there, my bike. Okay, that's better. That's a little better. I don't know what that makes me want to sit over here on this side. Hey. And I don't think that's the best option either. But yeah, I think we're gonna. It's a weird glare over here. Like, I don't know if it's, yeah. So sorry about the glare. I think it was better the other way, maybe. But I think I'm gonna go back the other way. There we go. There it is. As I was saying, I was going over, it got dark last night. I was going over Central Command and the toolkit, and man, it just started raining, and it wasn't really a downpour like you'd get down in South America, but it was interesting. Okay, what are we doing here? Am I on the right path? Kind of new here. Oh, da, 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 da. Okay, we left it off at weird things found on the road. So let's, as you can see, I need a new camera. I'm going to set a goal today while we're here. Well, I'm going to try to give some tips today and see what happens. In an hour, I'm going to be on here maybe 2 hours. And I've got a lot of stuff going on. Too bad the lighting isn't so well. Let's see. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. What's this? I don't understand what that means, but I think I'll just do this. There we go. And I'm setting something here. I'm getting I want to buy a new, I'll get a discount and I'll be able to offer discounts to my subscribers. Or actually, yeah, you subscribe. You don't have to become a member, but you'll see in the link, and you can get discounts from Insta360. That's the only one I have so far. I'm going to offer those all the time when I get them. Towards. Okay. Oh. Be right there. If you're there. There we go. Okay, sorry about that. I wonder about going live stream. Because what happens to me here is, I'll have to do stuff like that, and then I'll answer questions. I'm looking right at the screen. I could be doing that on a different device. But, when you're making a video, you want to cram it all in, to a certain amount of time because people don't want to be drugged along, And here I kind of feel like I'm not trying to drag people along, but I have a choice where I can actually look at stuff, maybe investigate stuff while we're looking at. So right now, while I'm kind of repacking and doing a few other things, I have a couple of stories that are really important about lately what I've been doing with this series of missing homeless, and how it's really not a conspiracy. There's just some weird stuff going on, and it's not aliens, and it's not Bigfoot, and it's not that kind of stuff. What it is it's actually the system, and people getting wrapped up in this new system, this new law, and all that kind of stuff. And some of it doesn't have anything to do with the new law. Some of it's like just people taking advantage of the system. So as a nomad, that's an interesting subject to me, and that's why I'm doing the videos. And nothing lasts forever, right? Eventually I'll be moving on, because I won't be in America all the time, and I'm gonna be kind of looking at the situation outside the country, but it isn't like, it's different in other countries. It's not the same kind of go. And hey, give me a like, and if you're there. And this is just a kind of another spontaneous meeting here. The winds are coming up. That might be a problem, but you get the whole bike in there. That's better. So yeah, uh, a little bit about that, and some people were asking questions about what to do in the winter, and there are people like my age, even younger people. I just turned 60. I keep saying late 50s, but I live a little differently than most people in their 60s and 50s, and so I know there's a lot of you out there that do what I do. Maybe you can offer some help too, for some of these questions, and they're in the comments. You might see them in some of the videos, but the one is like, what about wintertime? Like, isn't it great? Like YouTube, you get to watch all these videos. It's summer. You learn some routes. Get some good bicycle and camping travel information, and that's what I like to provide too. I'm not just about giving dark stories. Uh, any of the stories have to do with being outdoors, and so that's really important. But until I get through this series, there are going to be a couple more, only because I'm working on a couple of cases and I want to have a little more resolve to those. And a lot of my viewers that have been watching these videos, they want some resolve too. I don't want to just make videos and leave people hanging forever, like I'm just not working on an answer. And so that's really important to me. While I get, in further into them. Most important thing though is the videos are not just there for fun. I going a little further, and people want answers, and so I'll be coming back with some follow up stuff. I'm sitting around reading a lot of times, and I want to learn what the heck's going on with some of this. So it's not all homeless stuff, and we'll be getting back into the adventures of winter. Oh, the questions were, what do you do in the wintertime? And how can I, a lot of people, they're about my age, retiring maybe, and starting to bike tour or bike pack or kind of live this way. And then there's a zillion questions, and a lot of them are like, how do you travel so light? How do you get rid of everything? Well, I've been doing that for a long time, so that's a whole nother subject, but you can put things in storage. I meet a lot of people when I'm touring that put things in storage, sell their houses, or just keep their house, rent it out, whatever, and they're on the road for sometimes up to 5 years and or more. Some people just decide to just sell it all and stay on the road. Now, the way to do that, I think, like if you're thinking about doing that, like kind of like I do, you want to have, I think, a plan to be somewhere for a month or two, a month at least, and get rested up, and kind of whatever, learn the area where you're at and the culture, especially if you're out of the country. It's easier out of the country to sort of do that kind of thing, especially South America. Here, what are you going to do? Get a motel, hotel, campgrounds in the wintertime, and stuff are rough. And so if you're looking for a place to go in the winter that's really inexpensive, I know a lot of places, especially in South America, that are safe. And if you travel with your wits and your wisdom, you'll be fine. Watch some of my videos and other people's videos. But I really, really talk about Colombia a lot because I believe in Colombia. Any of the trouble that I talk about that I got into in Colombia, the dark stuff, was all self-induced and just ignorance. Like ignorance and not knowing where to go at the time, not studying enough, and just kind of, those are the mistakes. But I was there for a year. So when you spend a year anywhere in your life, you're gonna have almost every experience probably, or just about. That's a long time. And and I didn't leave either. I was there nonstop through the whole thing that happened down all over the world here few years ago. So anyhow, that's what I recommend if you can. Mexico. Now, some people say, what about Mexico? Well, it's dangerous. Well, yeah, I mean, there's parts of Mexico. It's a lot of parts that are dangerous. But there's a lot of parts here that are dangerous, and it's cold here. So, and I've been talking about my experience. Now let's go back into this homeless thing, right? And like my nomad thing and how I'm getting treated here. Like this morning, I made the video live, and I was just standing by a tree and taking some photos. I was going to do a video, and I was going to do a totally different video. And I was out on the ride, and finishing up like a big thing I did. I I do a fully loaded bike all the time for training. So here I am training my morning training. Stop, get some, maybe do a video, and this guy pulls in, older guy, older than me, and he says, "Hey, no camping in there. You can't camp here." And I wasn't gonna camp. I just had the bags on the bike, and I was like getting my camera out and stuff, and he goes, "No camping," And I said, "Well, I'm not camping," and he was treating me he was treating me pretty crappy. So I said, "I'm not camping. I'm actually working on a video, doing some work here, and I'll be fine." I can't remember what I said. I was pretty pissed and hot, and I wasn't making a video at the time. I was actually getting ready to shoot with the camera here, me, and he just pulled up. That's all he said and left. He was afraid of me. He thought I was gonna hurt him. So while I'm on that subject, as I travel around, since like all these new laws and weird stuff, this is regional. All the weird stuff going on. Uh, what I find is people treat you differently if you're hauling around stuff on your bicycle. In some places, people are really cool. Hey, like, what are you doing? That's really cool. Wish I was doing that. And then other times, it's like they just speed off or look at you funny. And so that is regional. I only find that in America. What I do find in other countries is people don't really. It's like they see this all the time in other countries, but in America they don't see it quite as much. And I was just talking to someone recently, and they couldn't understand why everybody doesn't know what bicycle touring is. They said, Doesn't everyone know?" And I go, "No, you can go to. Haven't you been to plenty of places where people look at you kind of funny?" And he said, "No," and I go, "Well, then you haven't been doing it long enough, because that's gonna happen." Gas stations are classic, especially up in the mountains, up in the Sierra. I'm getting eaten by mosquitoes out here, and places like that, man. That's rough. Hey, I'm gonna grab a cup of coffee. I don't mean to leave anybody here. Please say hello, ask some questions. I'm gonna be back in just a couple of minutes. I'm gonna fill up my coffee cup, and if you want to hang around, grab something the beverage of your choice, and I'll be right back. Thank you for watching. Give me a thumbs up. All righty, there we go. Back in business. Sorry about that. Man, the mosquitoes are raging. So I had to go get some socks and a little more coffee. And hey, everybody, welcome. Uncle D's Weird and Wacky. No, this is Tectonic. I have another channel. It's called Uncle D's Super Psychedelic Cyberspace. And things like that. It's a great little channel. I think there's 6 subscribers on there. Nobody really is catching on yet, but that's all right. I know they will. I'm sort of a visionary in that way. Eventually, somebody gets me out there. They understand me eventually. Somebody. Maybe only 1 or 2 or 6 or 1,257. 1255 or something I have. Anyway, thank you for subscribing if you did, because that 1,200 was a great mark for me, or the 1,000 was, but then the 2, and then now whatever it is. See, I'm losing track, and I lose subscribers, and then I'll gain like 10. I got 20 yesterday. Thank you very much, whoever's watching there. Give me a thumbs up give me a thumbs up if you're new and you're just like surviving what I'm talking about here, or if you already gave me a thumbs up earlier and you're just checking back to see if I'm back. Then say hello. Where are you from? Where do you live? Do I know you? Sometimes I wonder, like, is this somebody I know that? And wonder. But that's all right. All one of you there, and I appreciate you being there. So I was finishing up on Central Command. Hey, if you've already seen Central Command and that's boring, let me know. Just say I already saw that in the comments. If not, I'm going to just tell you what's in Central Command real quick. Because as I'm going through this stuff, I'm putting it away for the next trip. So I'm just going to, since you didn't say anything, anyone, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what's in the top of Central Command. Now, I have my new laptop that was a gift from my mom. my mom, who's elderly and bought me, a 60-year-old guy, his office. This is my office. So my mother, I love you. Thank you so much for buying my office for me, because I will cherish this thing and take great care of it. That's why I was freaking out when it was raining yesterday. But that's why I need a new camera, so I don't have to have. I want to. I'm not whoever you are there. You don't have to. I know I have a goal on there or something, but bouncing bike life. It's me, but I'm on road. Oh, all right, right on, man. That's right. You're working. I'm just gonna keep rolling anyway. So, but thanks, man. Thanks for being here. Yeah, so you've seen Central Command, then shit. Okay, then but there's a couple people here now, so I'm just going to go through it real quick as I'm trying to put it away. All the electronics here is what I'm going through as I not put things away, but just repack, because I have nowhere to. This is putting things away for me. So if you're new here, give me a thumbs up. If not, just say hello if you want to. This is a new book. I always carry one little book, and this is the book I'm currently getting ready to get into. Check that out. It's an old book. My former father-in-law, who just passed away, who was really the only father-in-law I ever had, he left me a bunch of Sierra stuff. Actually, my kids gave it to me, but he would have left it to me because he was a Sierra. He knew I was a Sierra guy, huge, and so we talked a lot about it. And I worked on glaciers. Thank you, whoever did that. Thumbs up. Please subscribe if you're new. Well, I guess you are new. So thank you. Let me know where you're from if you feel like it. Otherwise, I'm going to keep rolling here. Always ask questions. I mean, look, if there was 100 people here, or even probably 10, I'd have a hard time answering questions, especially with the mosquitoes biting my legs right now. Anyway, so that's the one book I'll take in the top of Central Command, right? And then now this is like base camp stuff. So I won't roll out on the lightweight trails. Like, I'll leave this at base camp, wherever that is. It might be an Airbnb, a house, a village, or whatnot. And it is this big. You can see here, it's that big. So it's not huge, but it's too big for like a backpacker would be pissed watching me right now. A bike packer, I'm sorry. If they didn't carry, I mean, you have a balance. If you're out like me living like this, then you probably understand. But and then the pad, and then my book. You can always find my book in my description stuff. But Transcending, look how thin that is. Not because it's not interesting. It's my kind of handbook, and it's not spiritual, and it's not anything like that. It's navigating the obstacles through the new times. And that's me out on the glacier when I was leading or guiding trips. Actually, that trip, I was only with one other guy. So the pad and that and the book. Okay, that's in the top of Central Command. Yeah, I know. I had plenty of solutions for mosquitoes, but then I get out here and start a video and I don't do any of them. But because there weren't, it was like yesterday there was some, but before that they weren't too bad. Now up in the Northwest they were. Okay, so just basically the big part of Central Command is just my cables. And then I carry, last night, here's where I got thrown off because we're almost done. Or 3 power banks. Yeah, that's a lot. I know. Because sometimes I'm out for a while. And I have the solar panel. And some people, if you don't know this, you probably already do, bouncing bike life. But my solar panel, I only use for charging the power banks. It takes all day, in a good sunshine. But if I'm out, that's worth it. I'm back online. I have to run back to town to at least get on my phone and stuff like that. So it's a little heavy and a little much for such little power. But if I'm gonna be out and need a base camp, that's exactly what I carry. So that's the basics of in Central Command. And then the sat phone, which is I don't carry everywhere, and less now because I'm using the Roam. So yeah, that's Central Command. Just the electronics stuff. And I had a good little. Oh shit. Anyway, never mind. That shouldn't have been in there. That's my little straw here. I have a few of these. I have a few filters, but this one here I use. I keep this in the bag that goes right next to my bed. Anywhere I gotta go, so my earbuds. Don't use those very often. So yeah, and I was gonna go through the tools, you know, but there's only one person here, and I bet Balancing Bike Life has a toolkit already figured out. But this is just kind of what I carry just for the road, and a lot of stuff I'll just pick up as I need it. But if I got certain things you gotta have, and that's your patch kit, which is empty right now. That goes in the garbage, and I've got a new one. And this is probably my most important little thing right here. Those clippers, and then you've probably seen these before, huh? Balancing Bike Life, but yeah, it's a few things I've added in the past. So that multi-tool, that Allen tool, the chain tool, and that I always have really handy. And the chain tool I never use, hardly ever. Once every 5 years, knock on wood. And I think one of the most important things I could say is a small pair of vice grips. You got all this stuff, Balancing Bike Life, and a small crescent wrench, small little tiny screwdriver. There's a screwdriver on here anyway, and I do bring this. It's come in handy. Small Phillips, short for a lot of stuff. Tire gauge, there's got to be a better one, right? Better idea, but I always take one so I don't mess up my tires. Of course, your tool for changing your wheel. Pair of scissors. The adjuster for my leather seat. Pencil. I have a pen too, ink pen. I started putting this. This is a charged. It's not my headlamp I use, but it is a little lamp, and I found a couple times it saved my ass having it in the toolkit. So I decided to add that to the program. And there's more. I have like another kit's got some grease in it and like some. And I'm going to show you that just because you'll see. That's kind of the reason. It's light out here. That's the reason I should probably do that, because this one will be good. Now, I carry little rubber gloves and then these little things that keep my hands, if they're greasy or whatever, or, running into the store and shit. I'm not too worried. I go into a lot of places, so I think I've built up a little bit of, immunity, but still, I'm always using shit like this. And we got that going on. Look at there. You can actually see this stuff. And okay, so I want to get into the nitty gritty stuff now. The stuff that I wouldn't take everywhere, but it's just me. I had to put sweats on, an icebreaker on, but it's warm out because of the mosquitoes. Going in here, that'll take me a minute probably. This thing. BBs. Yeah. Talk about a trunk bag, huh? Endless. That's like it's like when you see all the people getting out of the VW Bug, they just keep getting out. That old video, and it's this old poster where they were stuffed in it. Okay, so before I finish up the main part of that kit, now Balancing Bike Life, I know you've seen all this. I'm positive you have, but this is kind of a video I said I'd make last night, so I'm telling stories and doing this at the same time. Is the definitely got to have some big zip ties. I have some little ones in here too. Now I haul a lot of stuff, probably definitely more than your average guy, unless you see somebody like I run into people like in the Himalayas or in the Andes, that are hauling pretty big loads. they're not bike packing generally. It's like, okay, well, they're on a bike that could be bike packing too, like kind of like me, whatever. You're just traveling by bike. You're a traveler. We start calling it names, start labeling it. So I don't think that's always a great idea. So this is a repair kit. So this is tools, and then I have repair kit. I have glue and stuff like that. Hey, there's the Pro Tool pump. Gotta have that. But now we're digging deep here. We're gonna dig a little deeper. I should probably put this here. So I'm gonna put these away. I just carry this little leather bag, pretty handy for the tools. Been around a long time. It's got this little rigid bar here that closes. I like that. And all right, here we go. Okay. Now, remember, this is deeper into the toolkit. And if I was say I'm heading back to South America, well, I have this stuff down there. Let's say I was going on a big expedition, a big trip where I wasn't going to have, we're not talking a little bike packing for the weekend trip. This is, going big. And so some of the stuff that I bring. My first aid kit's pretty extensive. It's an EMT kit, but we'll go into that in a different video. But I definitely bring, other than those tools, I'll start with these, and is my hose clamps. Now, I have some of these hose clamps that are badass, and these are nice. You can shape them. They have rubber on them. So basically, those are for the forks. They came with one of those little kits that I got for the front forks. Yeah, I save stuff, so that's what it ends up being, is repair kit. Another. Now, do I take every single one of these? No. This is kind of base camp kit where I'll put this stuff in here and I go, okay, where am I going here? Where am I going? What trip am I going on? Right. Of course, I don't have a shed like a lot of guys you see on YouTube where they got everything hung up, and the wife's cooking them dinner and the dog's running around, or not. Maybe they just got a shed and they're single. But I'm really kind of the fringy type of guy. I don't really have rubber gloves, extra Fastex. Definitely take those. See what you have, for Fastex, and then get extras to go with it. Like I've got this little key thing that goes here, right? And like I've got another one that goes to that, and so I just take some extras. But I got Fastex all over the planet, right? So duct tape, a flattened roll of duct tape. This one here was bigger. Okay, those clamps. So here we go into the weird little things that you probably don't need, or you don't think you need. These are just some little plates that are coated with rubber. And they came with a fork kit too, but I found them. They come in handy for my front forks, so that the rack doesn't rub against the fork. Well, I got 4 of them, and they do wear out of the rubber off the top. So I just carry 2 extras for like going to the big mountains, or the long hauls. Definitely, because that rack is on the front here is vibrating like crazy, and so that's kind of why I have. And they go back here, so I don't know if you can see that. Carabiners, yeah, I know everybody's got extras of those. this little piece of pipe. It's actually a tent stake repair piece. Extra axle, and this goes to a bike ride. Little grinder, and that's about it. I mean, I don't want to get into it real deep here because the rest of it's shit that you don't need. More Fast X and all that kind of stuff. So, anyway, that's it. Hose clamps back in. These go back in. Everything goes back in. Extra stuff everywhere. That stays out because it's going to go on something. Clamps. This little cable where I don't remember where it came from, but I keep it because it looks like it probably will be useful someday, somewhere on some big expedition somewhere. And so that's how that goes. And then back to the strap bag, which really doubles as stuff like that could spill, but it's really wrapped well. I don't know, just where I decide to keep it. The straps go in there too. You can fit a lot of shit in here and stuff. I mean, sorry. And then I pack a little slower usually. There's the zip ties in there. So really, we've made a lot of progress. And this, where does this go? Well, it goes in here. And one problem is this has given up on me. So what I have to do is kind of hand close it and get the air out. And then I got this little bag here. Too many bags on it, but not really. I like to keep everything in bags. The tape, flat, goes in this nice little box here. Pepper spray. Yeah, it's a wimpy little one. That's all right. Better than nothing. And this thing will scare the crap out of anything or anyone. I keep that right there. Cruising down into the neighborhoods. Unit 13 in Medellin. Pablo Escobar land. Imagine being a gringo on a bike going through there. Jesus. That's me. That is me and will be again. I'm going to stick this in here. This time when I go to Colombia, and everywhere I go, but especially Colombia, my good friend, well, my two good friends, but Julio is going to be there. He's actually from Miami, but he's Colombian, and he has a security service transportation. And I helped him I didn't help him get going. I was one of his first customers, and it's a different guy. But he is successful, high security, private security, transportation, and his name is Julio Jaramillo, and he's a great friend of mine. He's my guy when I'm in Colombia. He takes good care of me, unless I'm just in a place where I feel comfortable. But if I'm rolling into somewhere kind of edgy, then if it's not him, it's one of his guys going with me. You're going to meet these guys this winter. Well, you meet other people too, even for out of Colombia. So, all right, we're going to put these in here for today. For now, that's the toolkit. And the pump, actually, I like to put that in that long bag as well. And that's gone. Yeah. Hey, man, we got through Central Command. We got through, if you watch yesterday's live video, I went through some of the other gear, the clothing and things like that. So check that out. It's a live from yesterday. And I just kind of roll through these casually. I mean, I appreciate you being here. Look, hey, thanks, whoever you are, being here. There's two of you there. It's cool, though. I love it. I can actually respond. If you have any questions, I'll see the question there rather than, since I'm not so fast at answering questions. But, hey, if you're new here, and ask me some questions if you want. We just got done with the toolkit. So you can back up and see that in this video, or see the video that I just made about what happened to me this morning about I was just out taking pictures and somebody told me I couldn't camp by that tree just because of the way I'm loaded. So I've been going in about how I'm treated, as a what I just call a nomad. I'm just a guy on a bike, and I don't travel like you see normally. People aren't used to it all the time. Some people are. But here in America, it's regional, and it just depends on where you are. So that's probably just a repeat for anyone if you've been here before, but sometimes I need to get those things out there and completed. I'm going into more answering questions about Colombia only because, and South America, because it's getting that time of year. This is the time of year when the geese have already flown over my head. And I'm near Mexico. I'm near the border. I'm in Southern California. And the geese have flown over me. And that's saying something. This time, like in Alaska, I would see that in September and go, oh, God, it is time to get the hell out of here. That's when I got tired of it. My first winter was great. Second winter was okay. It's kind of cool still. Northern Lights, all that kind of cool stuff. And then eventually it was like, this is not good for you. Being in the dark all winter is not good for you. It's not fucking good for you at all. Anyway, so don't ever do it. If you already did it, great. You made it through. I think I have a theory, or I have an idea that people who say, and I know a lot of people that live in Alaska in the winter, that they love winter. Now I know it could be possible if you like to sleep and be like a bear, hibernate, read books, and watch movies. I get it. That could be kind of fun. Or you like sports outside in the snowmobile, snow machine, whatever. That's kind of fun, I know. Skiing. Hey, I've done plenty of that. I'm a former alpine mountaineer and a guide. I've done plenty of mountaineering and skiing. But is it something I want to do the rest of my life? Is it fun all the time in the cold? Hell no. All winter in the dark? No. So if you like that, you're a rare breed. And there are a few people out there, but I would say 99% of the time when people tell you that, they're full of shit. And here's why. Because their friends like it. But you see, then their friends say they like it. And they get these fun toys and all these motorsport stuff. And before you know it, and now, I like snowmobiles and snow machines. So don't lose me here. I like motorcycles. I like it all. But I don't like cold, dark, all winter long. I work construction. I did it. Balancing bike life, you do it. Imagine doing it, and you've done it in the cold, I'm sure. But I did it at 40 below, a lot. 50 below. The cutoff point for us at work was 50 below. So then you go sit inside and look outside the window and wait for it to get to 49 below zero, and you have to go back to work. It's it's okay for a while, man. And does it build camaraderie and a good team of people? Yeah, it does that. It does that as good as anything I know, other than maybe this military or something. And that's different. It's a different kind of camaraderie, but it's still camaraderie, and it's shared by men and women, and that's important. That's one of the things about Alaska. Now, I say in my videos a lot, I'm not a team player, especially during that thing that happened. I wasn't all in with everybody, I'm not like that. But doing construction, doing climbing, all my expeditions I've been on, all my trips I've led, I am a team player. I'm actually a leader, but I'm a team player with my people. There's camaraderie there, and you got to stick together. In those conditions, you have to stick together. Bicycling is different, though. Bicycling is cool for me because I can be out with a group of people or one other person, and usually it's somebody I met while I'm touring. But if I've been with someone else, we're both self-sufficient. And if something happens and the other one just wants to leave or go some other way, that's an understanding that we have on the bike. We're not stuck with each other the whole time. Like, I've done this plenty of times. And on my first big bike tour with two other guys, one of our guys said, "Hey, man, I got to go. I'm going this way." One day. He was just at the store getting something to eat. He wasn't mad at us. Nobody was mad at each other. And he's my good friend, Robert Brenton. He's a big YouTube creator over in Hawaii. The Infinite Cup. And he's an off-grid guy that builds stuff, and he just all sorts of great tips. But anyway, he was with us, and he liked to get up in the morning, and we'd all come from Alaska. We'd worked real hard that summer, so me and him and another guy who's older than me, we were rolling together down the coast of Oregon, heading to Humboldt County to trim. And he says 5 yeast on his bike, so he bakes bread every morning. That's just his true. He would get up early. He'd go out and collect wood, which you're not supposed to do. He wouldn't buy wood. He would collect it. Sorry, Robert. He'd probably buy it now. But back then, he would collect wood out of the trees, which is campgrounds don't like you doing that. And then he'd make a little fire, and then he'd bake some bread. Yeah, he had a live sourdough yeast he brought back from Alaska, and that was. And then he did yoga, which is great. And then he would get rolling on the highway at about 11 a.m. whenever he had to check out of the campground, or he'd be just stealth camping. And then, so that was Robert's routine. And we were like, get up, have coffee. We call it hippie speedball. We do our routine in the morning, that we do. And then we head out and then have a bagel while we're riding, and then stop for lunch. And that's how we did it. We would stop for lunch. That was our first big meal, usually a burrito at some Mexican place, or, like a taco truck or something. And then we'd carry on through the day and have dinner later or something. So one day, Robert or me and Bart, we, like every day on that trip, we left early, about 6 a.m. with our coffee and cruising down the road and taking a lot of breaks as we normally do. And we stopped for a burrito right on a main street of the next town. And we told Robert, we'll see you in the next town. We're going to wait for Robert there. But we left a message for him before that at a guardrail saying, if you don't see us by 1, just, we kept going. And he sees us at this table eating, and he just blows right by us. Sees us, and he just goes right by us. And I don't know if he saw us or not. I don't think he did. And then, so we get on our bikes. We're just finishing up, and we head down. And we're like, shit, where'd he go? We're texting him, and he's at the store. And he said, I think I'm just going to go east now. And he went east, and I think we were just all on different schedules. That's the beauty of bicycle touring. One of them. You can just go. You can ride with somebody all day, and then sometimes you never see him again, or sometimes you see him for a week or 2 days or something, depending on where you are. You might see him for a month, on and off, or something like that. But the camaraderie that I like nowadays, campfire talk and things like that. That's where it's at for me. Hey, I'm going to get some things put away here real quick. I'm going to stay on here, maybe get a little more coffee. And yeah, so it took a lot for me to get everything dried out and everything situated here. Computer's getting pretty warm. I may have to put that away. What a great day, though. And I sure appreciate you guys watching, like while I cruise through life doing all this stuff. Hey, if you ever want, this is a good one. I wear Chaco constantly. I don't wear shoes. I take a pair of shoes with me. Ultra, they make a zillion different kinds of shoes, but they're wide. Check out how the wide toe, the wide end, my favorite shoe. I've had 4 pairs of them now. So I do carry shoes. You see in my videos, I don't wear shoes. Well, I do wear shoes. Sometimes I like to hike. I can hike in Chacos, but sometimes I get to where I don't want stuff like shale and stuff coming in. So and these have little gator clips, so I can put my gaiters on with them. So yeah, Ultra, my favorite shoes. Ultra, I could use some new shoes, man. Tectonic Traveler is going to be putting on the miles, and as you can see, I use the shit out of them. I use the heck out of them. right, man. Looking good. Just probably going to sign off pretty soon. It's getting hot. And just trying to get finished packed up here so I can leave things out. You know, the great thing about having the Ortlieb bags and everything waterproof is I can just keep everything outside. I cover things. I have a cover for the bike, but a lot of times I'm not too scared about it because it's, you know, it's okay. So anyway, here's the the wind. So the winds pick up every day here. It's starting to crank now. I'm gonna shut down the video here and come back maybe later. I've got another video to edit and post, and a lot of stuff still from the Northwest. But you know, that stuff's gonna get old soon because the seasons and the times are changing. Hey, if you like my videos, if you ended up watching this to the very end, thank you very much. I appreciate all you guys. I've noticed a lot of people watch my videos. I'm going to wrap this thing up at 1 hour. And please like and subscribe if you haven't already. And I'm trying to save up for a camera. So if you want to donate and support my channel to have better footage while I'm riding and not use my computer, I'm going to get a discount and I'll start offering discounts in the description for the Insta360. That's going to be the next thing I'm going to be using. And there's a couple other companies too that I eventually will try out. But I need a camera and I'm working on saving for that. And if you don't if you can't support me through here, my PayPal's on there. PayPal, Darren Dunn, DARINDUNN 123. I appreciate you guys very much. And I'll talk to you soon and have a great day out there. Okay. Thank you. I'm going to put a little heart there for everybody. All right, man.